So here we are, talking to Zsófia at Theatre Dortmund, and I'm Lucy. I'm running comms with Sam at PlayOn, and we're going to have a really nice conversation just about this incredible project that these guys have been working on. So here we go, People of PlayOn. If you'd just like to introduce yourself, that would be amazing.
Yes, hi, I'm Zsófia Geréb. I'm a director, and I just had the premiere
Hooray!
in Theater Dortmund, actually in the Junge Oper. So it is an opera for teenagers, and really we're just like an hour after our premiere. Yeah.
Brilliant, congratulations. It's
Thank
going to be brilliant. I think we're going to see it tomorrow actually as a sort of team, so that would be amazing. I know that the first time we met each other actually was in Budapest for one of the meetings that we had as part of the project. I wondered if you could sort of take us on a journey from that meeting through to obviously the process through the pandemic, perhaps right up until this premiere actually, just sort of tell us how the process of the project came about.
Oh wow, that was actually a pretty long journey because I think we met in beginning of 2019 or so, in Budapest, and then, or in 20, and then we started to work on the project. We actually had a super lot of ideas how we were gonna work in Dortmund together with the ensemble. We have three wonderful, great singers, and also to work with the actual teenagers to develop the project for them. And then came Corona, and really like 3 days before our trip to Dortmund, and then we had to cancel that. But then, thanks to the internet, then we made some sessions online with the singers and also with some teenagers. We actually could talk to them, okay, what are the topics that they're interested in, what are their problems, because that was a very important thing we actually picked up in Budapest from I think one of your groups that hey, you should talk to them, to the teenagers before you create something, which is but it was really an important part of the process. And then we involved a librettist, so an author who wrote the text for us based on our ideas and our conversations with teenagers, with the singers. And then so we started to develop the project. Obviously, the biggest part was how to involve digital things to our project, or how to bring something from the gaming world. And then we decided to really do a multiple choice opera. So right to the hardcore decision. Basically you never have that in an opera because it's just very complicated. Like, oh my god, you can't ask like 90 musicians now to turn to page 70. We had a smaller ensemble, so and at the end we had 5 instrumentalists and the 3 singers. So we actually did that move that hey, now please turn to page 25. Amazing. Because it goes to this direction. And then we developed 3 major storylines. And then altogether, you have 12 variations of the show, which you can see in a 1 hour long show. And they're really different. We had like 2.5 hours material, which we had to then, first of all, write. So the author had to write it, then the composer had to compose it, then we had to rehearse it. And so that's what we did, which was super unusual for the ensemble and to everyone, but they dealt with it pretty well. And then we got also a media artist to our team, which is a very important part of it. We got him, so to say, from the academy here in Dortmund.
Yes.
And then we developed basically a projection throughout the whole show. So it's basically also 60 or 50 or 60 minutes of projection running all the time during the show, which was a huge challenge.
I can imagine. That's an enormous challenge. So you've got so many technological elements happening at the same time, but also it sounds like you had a really collaborative sort of research and development process, first with the young people and then going through to look at how the strands of the stories might work. Is that a process that was totally new to you to work in that way, or did you bring in elements of the way that you usually practice your directing?
part of the process I already tried. I do it sometimes that I really do work together with singers or actors. It depends on. So I really make them improvise on. For example, in this project, I made them improvise on their characters. We gave them some characteristics, but then we let them improvise. So it's really also their ideas are really incorporated in the project, which I find a very good thing, because I always have the feeling that if the actors or singers see themselves in a way projected in the project, then they're way more involved and engaged. But I never had that I was asking actual teenagers or a group of people who are who topic, so to say, in the show. And I never had a multiple choice show. And I was like, oh my God, how am I going to do the rehearsal plan? Like, okay, how we should do a run through? What does it mean to have a run through?
Yeah. How do you do every eventuality that may come up? Exactly.
Exactly. So it was completely new. And then we had to really think about it. Okay, what are we going to do now? And to talk to the dirigent, conductor as well. Okay, so what are we going to do now? How we should rehearse?
That's amazing. Yeah. So do you think in opera in particular, this is an entirely unique approach, do you think, with this do you think you're the first to do it?
Yeah, I think that, but I'm not sure if it's the truth. Yeah. Maybe there are, but I think I have to say that I think opera is the most conservative way of making theater, so to say, also because of its repertoire, but also because it's such a huge business. I mean, it's not only the actors, in this case the singers on the stage, but you have an orchestra. It's just like so many people to move. Like, I don't know, it was now a chamber setup, but it would be actually amazing to do that with a 90 member orchestra or so, because why not? That would be the same process, but that's why you don't do that. That's why you don't do multiple choice operas, because it's such a lot of work for so many people. So I think this is pretty unique. Maybe someone already did it, but I don't know about that. So,
well, I'm seriously impressed, because it's that kind of all those people, the composer, the singers, you've got the orchestra playing as well, and everyone is having to respond depending on the audience, right? So there's something really magic about that, because so much of the technology that we've experienced in the last year has been pre-recorded, or you've not been able to interact with it in that way. And so to suddenly put sort of like the power in the hands of the audience to work with this amazing race of professionals is an incredible thing. And I can't wait to see it tomorrow. I just wanted to ask you, this is the last sort of couple of questions I wanted to ask, because the process has been, sounds really fascinating, and I really hope that we get to hear more about this after you've done your run, after this opening as well, just to see how the story changes as it goes on, I guess. But I wanted to sort of ask you the kind of greatest moment of the process, if you had like a kind of, aha, this is the best moment. And then also the moment where you thought, how are we gonna do this? You know, if there were two kind of highs and lows, basically.
Oh, okay. Lows I have. Let me think about that. I think the highs are really when I could just realize, like, of course we had our first rehearsal day where I explained everything to the singers and to everyone, and then just that they weren't like, oh my God, how are we gonna do this? But they were like, okay, let's do this. And for me, opera is really a conservative business, so to say, and that we had really an ensemble who wasn't like, oh, what do you want from me? Leave me alone. How am I going to do this now? And everyone was like, yeah, okay, let's do that. So that was a huge, huge yes to me in the project.
It's great.
And it was really amazing. And they kept their word. They were really on it.
Brilliant.
Lows, I think, well, the technical side, it was, it was pretty difficult to have the projection, because it's not only that you have to create loads of material, but also to run it as basically the sixth member of the orchestra or so. So the person who is doing it live, he has to read the notes, he has to know when to react, how to react on the singers, and how it should be possible to build the whole project that it works. And that took quite some time.
I can imagine it's like having a whole new member of the orchestra or a new role for somebody, and I can totally imagine that. Well, thank you so much for talking to us. I really appreciate it, because I know you've come away from your party just to come and speak to us, so I feel really privileged to be able to speak to you. Absolute break a leg for the rest of the run, and we can't wait to see the production tomorrow, so thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity.